The headwaters of the Rio Grande spring from streams located in the heart of Colorado's San Juan Mountains. From their source, the waters flow into the San Luis Valley. It is here in the valley that the waters merge and assume their identity as the Rio Grande. The character of the San Luis Valley is not only defined by its distinctive geography, but by its culture as well, for the valley is an enclave of Hispanic culture and tradition. The songs, stories, and crafts link the heritage of the valley with that of the Southwest and dominate the social and cultural fabric of the valley. In the late 60s, the directors of Virginia Neal Blue Resource Centers noted that the San Luis Valley's two most prominent craft forms, weaving and colcha embroidery, were in danger of vanishing from the heritage of the area. They discovered that while there were a few isolated artisans still producing crafts, new practitioners would need to be recruited and trained if traditions were to be sustained and continued. With this in mind, Virginia Neal Blue Resource Centers located and hired skilled teachers and established 4 training sites in the valley. The colcha embroideries are unique individual expressions of life in the San Luis Valley. Carmen Orega de Salas, a teacher artisan who trained the original student groups, advised her class to focus on embroidering pictorial expressions of everyday life in the valley. The advice was good, for the stitcheries produced by the students transcended the merely decorative and became folk art.
A friend called and asked me if I'd be interested in taking some stitching lessons from Carmen for those people who don't write or don't paint. It's a way of showing their life. You can stitch your families, what your grandfathers did, why your families are here, the way places look when they were young.
Recently, there have been worldwide efforts to perpetuate the cultural expressions of nations and their distinctive ethnic groups. Many countries, including Japan, Egypt, and the United States, have recognized the need to foster the continuance of their folk art. The Craft Project in the San Luis Valley is one such effort. By preserving our past, we are protecting our future. Marty and Viola Martinez were part of the initial group of student weavers to be trained in the San Luis Valley. They have since mastered the techniques and skills of weaving and loom construction and have developed a sense of design and color that has qualified them to become teachers of successive weaving classes.
The type of weaving that was done here along the Rio Grande in San Luis Valley was very, very good quality weaving. From what I've learned, that the weaving here in the San Luis Valley died out in the early 1900s. They had very few weavers actually doing weaving when the WPA program started, around 1935, something like that. Then they had it going for a few years and the war started and that stopped it. But I guess none of the weavers that did weaving there kept it up. Some of those people, the ones that had people that were weaving in the family, they got to see some of it when they were kids. So it's all coming back to them. They remember and all that. I'd say pretty close to half of the people that we have in Antonito actually had relatives that did weaving. I had some exposure to it when I was a young kid, and I always wanted to go back to weaving again.
I heard this Virginia Neal Blue coming into Capitoline So I told him I'd join, and I came home and I told my husband about it. And I said, I think it would be nice, even if you start your own, go and see, maybe you wanna do the weaving too. And he says, no, I think that's only ladies' work. So I said, no, I think that's more men's work than ladies. Let's both, next meeting, we'll both go. So we both went, and from there on we decided to join the weaving.
Effie Archuleta is a teacher of teachers. Marty and Viola Martinez are numbered among her former students. Effie is perhaps the individual who best personifies the tradition of weaving in the San Luis Valley. Her family members have been weavers for 6 generations, and she herself has been weaving for over 50 years.
And we're 6 girls. And so we were 9 in the family. My father was a teacher at first. So we were so many that that the daddy can support us very easy. So we all weave. And my father and mother and my big sister weaved, and all of us used to prepare the wool and get everything ready to weave. So they kept us busy all the time. Later they teach us to weave too. We didn't like to weave it, like you said. We didn't. But they never believe in us cutting our hair, so they braid our hair and they got us from there and keep us weaving. We tried to get away, but we had to. Ooh, my great-grandparents, my parents, and my grandfather, and my mother and us, and my grandchildren's weaving. They're already weaving too. I just do it because I like to. And of course I get some money once in a while, but even if I don't, I just weave every day. I learn more every day. I'm still learning to get the things the way they are.
The weaving, for one thing, they're done by Hispanic weavers, and they can truly be called Hispanic weavings. All the material is 100% wool.
Once you're a weaver, any place that you go, you're always finding patterns.
Anything you see, it has a pattern of its own, and kind of gives you a kind of food for thought. In other words, it just gives you kind of an idea that you could make a pattern out of what you happen to see at that one time. A lot of times we start a pattern, we start weaving, we plan on making one certain pattern. While you're in the process of weaving, all of a sudden you get an idea that you can change it and make something else. And you end up creating a new pattern, and even prettier than the one you had started with to begin with. Yes, and anytime they need some looms, so they ask me if I can go ahead and make them. I say, sure, I'll make them. We get the ladies to help us put them together, so they know how the looms go from the time that we make them. They know how every part works. So when they go home, they'll know just what goes wrong with their looms. My wife made some looms, and those looms they made them just as good as I do. Kind of made me a little bit envious.
The Smithsonian Institute in Washington, D.C. is charged with helping to perpetuate those special and unique efforts that can be classified as American folk art. Recently, the Smithsonian selected a weaving from the San Luis Valley for inclusion in its popular retail sales catalog. Amada Vigil, an accomplished weaver and instructor from Capuline, Colorado, accompanied by the directors of Virginia Neal Blue, journeyed to Washington, D.C. in order to present a weaving exhibition and inaugurate a national marketing campaign for San Luis Valley crafts. A comprehensive marketing effort is necessary to ensure adequate sales to support the crafts program in the valley. Orders for San Luis Valley crafts are coming from museums, gift shops, and galleries throughout the nation. While the skills and artistry are unique to the valley, the appreciation for these fine crafts is widespread.
On her family's
Wonderful, wonderful.
and it's just
It's really beautiful, isn't it? But I love the
I
fact
want
that
your
Goes way back to the art itself. It gives us a sense of pride in knowing that we are keeping up a tradition that was started many years ago.
I think that Virginia Neal Blue, that this was the greatest thing that could ever happen, you know, to bring in the craft to the valley. There's a lot of ladies right there in Antonito where had never worked in their life. They have always been in welfare. Their husbands died or their husbands left them. They are really proud because they are making a living of their own.